Hello dear students, welcome to the geography session, chapter 7, human environment, settlement, transport and communication, session 1. The topics in the chapter would be settlements, rural settlements, urban settlements, transport, roadways, railways, waterways, airways and communication. So let's get started with the topic settlements. Settlements are places where people build their homes. Settlements can be of two types. Temporary. Temporary settlements which are occupied for a short time are called temporary settlements. Example, the people living in the deep forest, hot and cold deserts and mountains. Permanent. Permanent settlements which are made to live in for a long time are called permanent settlements. Example, people build home to live in. See, the settlements are the places where people build their home and live. Early humans lived on trees and in caves, and we depend on the nature for shelter. As agriculture came into existence, there was the need of the permanent settlement near the crops. Due to this need, villages and towns and cities started growing around the areas where there were water and fertile lands for agriculture. This you have learned in the history. As human society progressed with the development of trade, commerce and manufacturing, human settled became larger. Civilization developed near the river valleys. So settlements are of two types. Temporary settlement. It is where a group of houses are occupied for a short period of time. Such settlements can be found in a deep forest, hot and cold deserts and mountains. People in these kinds of settlement practice hunting, gathering and shifting cultivation. Permanent settlements in which our group of people are occupied for a long period of time. In these type of settlements, people build homes to live in. People in these kind of settlements are farmers or office or factory workers. The place where a building or a settlement develops is called its site, which is selected on the basis of following conditions: favorable climate, availability of water, suitable land and fertile soil. So let's move on to the second topic, that is rural settlement. So student, this is the image that is given for your referral for settlements. In one image you can see there are crowded areas, one where there are very few homes, but you can see the second image looks very pretty because it is more of nature. Rural settlement. The villages are rural settlements where people are engaged in activities like agriculture, fishing, forestry, craft work and trading, etc. Rural settlements can be compact or scattered, like in the second images of rural settlement, where you can find fishing, forestry, craftsmen and trading, etc. Rural settlement. The villages are rural settlement where people are engaged in activities like agriculture, fishing, forestry, crafts, work and trading, etc. Rural settlement can be compact or scattered. The compact settlement is a closely built area of dwelling wherever flat land is available. In a scattered settlement, dwellings are spaced over an extensive areas. This type of settlement is mostly found in hilly tracts, thick forest and regions of extreme climate. In rural areas, people build houses to suit their environment. In regions of heavy rainfall, houses have slanting roofs. In the region where water accumulates in the rainy season, houses are constructed on a raised platform or stilts. In the areas of hot climate, thick mud walled houses with thatched roof. So A village is a rural settlement. Materials like stone, mud, clay, straw, etc. are used to construct houses. People engage in agriculture, forestry, fishing, craft work, and trading live here. Are built according to the environment conditions in the region. Houses have slanted roofs in the area where heavy rainfall. In the areas where water accumulate in rainy season, the houses are built on a raised platform or stilts. In area of hot climate, thick mud walled houses with thatched roofs are very common. There are two types: compact rural settlements, in which a house are built close together on a flat piece of land. Scattered rural settlement, in which houses are scattered or spread on a large area, mostly built in hilly areas, thick forest, and regions with extreme climate. Urban settlements. I have given the image for your referral. The town are small and the cities are larger. Urban settlements. In urban areas, the people are engaged in manufacturing, trading, and services. So, towns are small or cities are large. Urban settlements. In these areas, people are engaged in manufacturing, trading, and services. Transport. Transport is the means by which people and goods move. In earlier days, people had to walk and used animals to carry their goods. With the passage of time, different means of transport developed, but even today, people use animals for transport. In India, donkeys, mules, bullocks, and camels are common. In the Andes mountain of South America, ants are used. In Tibet, yaks are used. The four major means of transport are roadways, railways, waterways, airways. So, in the transport is the mean by which people and goods move. In the earlier days, people moved goods on foot or on animals. After the invention of the wheel, transport became easier. As time passed, different modes of transport developed according around the world. Camels, bullocks, mules, donkeys, yaks, and ants are still used for transport. Modern means of transport help us save time and energy. And there are four major means of transport, that is railways, roadways, waterways, and airways. So let's study them further. Roadways. Roadways are most commonly used means of transport, especially for short distance. Roads are classified into two types: metalled, that is pakka; unmetalled, kacha. So metalled is pakka and unmetalled is kacha. The plains have a dense network of roads. Roads are also present in terrains like deserts, forests, and even high mountains. Manali Leh highway in the Himalayan mountains is one of the highest roadways in the world. Roads built underground are called subways or underpaths. Flyovers are built over raised structures. So, roadways is the most commonly used mode of transport for short distances. Roads can be metalled or unmetalled. Metalled are called pakka and unmetalled are kacha. There is a dense network of road in the plains. Roads have also been built in forest, desert, and hilly regions. The Manali Leh highway in Himalayas is one of the highest roads in the world. Roads built underground are called subways and underpass. Flyovers are roads built over raised structures. So let's move on to the second transport, that is railways. The railways carry heavy goods and people over long distance quickly and cheaply. Today, diesel and electric engines have largely replaced the steam engine. In places, superfast trains. I have have been introduced to make the journey faster. The railway network is well developed over the plain areas. With the advanced technological skills, railway lines are also being laid in different mountain terrains also. However, these are lesser in number. Indian railway network is well developed and largest in Asia. So, railways are used to carry people and goods over long distance quickly and cheaply. The invention of the steam engine and the industrial revolution helped the development of railway system around the world. Today, diesel and electric engines have widely replaced the steam engine. Superfast trains have made traveling faster than ever before. Railway networks are well developed in plains. Advanced technology has been used to lay down railway lines in mountains and hilly regions. The Indian railway network is the largest in Asia and is very well developed. The next topic is waterways. Waterways are the cheapest for carrying heavy and bulky goods over long distance. These are mainly of two types: inland rail waterways, another is sea routes. I have sent you the image for your referral where you can see the waterways carrying people. There is a cruise and a ship carrying goods. So waterways are the cheap way to carry heavy and large goods over long distance. Waterways can be inland ways. Navigable rivers and lakes are a part of inland waterways. Example: the Ganga Brahmaputra river system in India, the Great Lake in North America, and the River Nile in Africa. And sea route. Sea route are mostly used to transport goods from one country to another, are connected to each and other by ports. Some of the important ports are Singapore and Mumbai in Asia, Rio de Janeiro in South America, New York and Los Angeles in North America, Durban and Cape Town in Africa, Sydney in Australia, and London and Rotterdam in Europe. So let's move on to the another transport, that is inland waterways. Inland waterways are navigable rivers and lakes are used in as inland waterways. Important inland waterways are Ganga Brahmaputra river system, the Great Lake in North America, and the River Nile in Africa. Sea route. Sea route are oceanic routes, are mostly used for transporting merchandise and goods from one country to another. These routes are connected with the ports. Different ports of the world: Singapore and Mumbai in Asia, New York, Los Angeles in North America, Rio de Janeiro in South America, Durban and Cape Town in Africa, Sydney in Australia, London and Rotterdam in Europe. Next is airways. Airways is the fastest way of transport developed in the early 20th century. It is also the most expensive due to the high cost of fuels. Air traffic is adversely affected by bad weather like fog and storms. It is the only mode of transport to reach the most remote and distant areas, especially where there are no roads and railways. Helicopters are extremely useful in most inaccessible areas and in time of calamities for rescuing people and distributing food, water, clothes and medicine. Important airports are Delhi, Mumbai, New York, London, Paris, Frankfurt and Cairo. So, airways are the fastest way of transport in the modern world and are also the most expensive due to the high cost of fuels. It is only way to reach the remote area of the world where roads and railways do not go. Air transport is usually affected by fog and storms. Helicopters are useful in inaccessible areas and are used in the time of natural disaster to rescue people and distribute food, medicine and other resources. Some of the busiest and most important airways in the world are Mumbai, Delhi, New York, London, Paris, Frankfurt and Cairo. Next we will learn communication. Communication in the process of conveying message to others. So what is communication? Communication is the process of sharing message with others. Development of technology has resulted in new and faster mode of communication. It provides information, education as well as entertainment. The development of communication system has resulted in an information revolution in the world through mass media such as newspaper, radio and television. We can quickly communicate with a large number of people anywhere and anytime. Satellites have made communication faster and have helped in oil exploration, survey of forest, understand water, mineral wealth, disaster warning and weather forecast. We can easily send electronic messages, voice and video through the internet and wireless electronic systems like mobile phones. The internet provides us with the worldwide information and also makes our life comfortable by allowing us to book tickets, book hotels, rooms and shop online. This this interconnectivity of people, service and institutions has made us part of large global society. So student, this is where we end the chapter. I hope you have understood all the topics covered in the session. So I instruct again and again the same thing in every session, that please do read the textbook, underline the hard words, write them in your notebook 5 times so that you can recite the difficult words, and read the slides in the session. Listen to the video carefully so that you can understand the chapter better. So see you in the second session for question answers. Till then, bye and take care.